Hey everyone, my name is Chris. I do a lot of videos from my home office. This is a really small space, so it only measures at about 9 by 11 or so. It's very much a home office. For years and years, I kind of relied on this bay window to get my natural light, but natural light is very unpredictable and it's often changing. So let me take you through my lighting, my video, and my audio setup for this space. So GVM is going to come up quite a bit. First and foremost, this is my halo light. I believe this is the 800D. These lights can be controlled via your mobile phone. They can do all sorts of different colors, but I pretty much have mine set to a bright white, and this is just giving me a halo. So when I'm in the seated position, you may be able to see there, it's giving me a little bit of an outline to separate me from the background. Now, several other lights. I have another 800D here on the floor. This one is set to more of like a yellow color, maybe more like a 3600 Kelvin. It's in the corner. It's just pointed up at this fake plant here. All right, and then I have a fill light, which this is more of like a soft dome. This is in the middle of the room, and this is giving me that bright white, but yet soft. It's only at 20% at the moment, so it really just fills in the area. I don't use the lights from my ceiling fan. Those are not controllable. I can't change the color temperature, so I primarily rely on this to kind of fill in some of the shadows. And then here is my key light. This is the most important one. This one I could get by with just this without the other practical lights. These are just fancy add-ons, but this one by far is very important. When I'm in the seated position and I'm making videos at my desk, I need this one to brighten up my face. And then also, because it's got this honeycomb texture, this is basically diffusing the light so that with my glasses, when I'm in the seated position and I'm looking straight at my camera, even though there's a light coming right at me into my glasses, I'm not getting a glare. So if there's any glare whatsoever, it's being very diffused. If I didn't have this honeycomb texture, it would be very bright. You just see white all over my lenses. It's very, my glasses are pretty strong. So anyway, this key light is capable of doing two different colors. So you can go from the more yellow amber color to very, very bright white. And that pretty much stays on all the time. Now, like I said, all of these lights from GVM can be controlled via the mobile app. This is my seated position. Now let's talk about video. For a while, I was using a DSLR camera, had a fancy setup with HDMI cables and all of that, but I really enjoyed using this Elgato Facecam 4K. With the Facecam 4K is simply a USB-C cable that runs to my computer. There is no audio being passed through this. We'll talk about audio in just a minute. But this gives me a 4K 60 frames a second quality, all from one USB-C cable. I can be seated at my desk, and if you're used to seeing my videos, it's typically from this angle here, so you can see a little bit of the stuff behind me. But again, if I'm doing tutorials, I'm sitting at my desk, I don't need a lot of the features that DSLR cameras give me, and I also don't have to worry about SD cards, HDMI converters, and all of that. So a lot of the videos I do are primarily on music production. So my audio interface is the Apollo Twin X from Universal Audio. I've used many of them in the past before, like the Scarlett 2i2. It's a great one as well. But my main setup is to have this Neumann TLM 103. So this Neumann TLM 103 sits on this desktop stand here on my desk using a nice Mogami cable. It's running to channel 2 of my audio interface, and I'm recording all of my video and audio in OBS. OBS is a free streaming. You can do streaming, you can do recording, you can do screen capture recording, but this is my setup. I've got this nice 4K monitor from Dell, and I have my MacBook Pro M3. I'm very impressed with the M3. It's got 18 gigabytes of RAM. I've got 1 terabyte of storage. Now, the main hub that everything's plugged into is this CalDigit Thunderbolt dock. So there is a USB-C cable. I use these ones from OWC. They've got various different lengths. I believe this is the 1 meter version. I've got others as well, but this one Thunderbolt cable runs to this dock, and from this dock, you can see it on the back, I've got HDMI ports, I've got USB-C ports, I can charge my laptop, all of my USB devices. My microphone plugs into my audio interface plugs into the laptop. My Elgato Stream Deck I can use for changing scenes and hitting record in OBS. Mostly all of my USB stuff just plugs into this, and then I have one cable that goes over here. Now, sometimes I need to charge things like the microphone I'm currently wearing. I'll use the extra ports for that as well, but it's been a very simple setup. Sound-wise as well, if I need to listen to something like a YouTube video, I make use of these Mackie 3.5-inch Bluetooth speakers. They are wired in, but again, I'm just using them to listen to YouTube videos, or when I'm editing videos, I can listen to these. Headphone-wise, I've got lots of options here. These are the Beyerdynamic DT900 Pro X. They're open back headphones, good for mixing music. If you're listening to music, they also sound great as well. And then I do have available just under the desk, I've got this headphone clamp, and I have the closed back version of the headphones. These are the DT700 Pro X models. So these are closed back. When I'm recording music, I'll use those. When I'm mixing music, I use these. So as far as video goes, the Elgato Facecam 4K. As far as audio goes, I'm using the Neumann TLM103 at this distance. I'll sit at the desk, I'll do my videos. I'm being recorded. My audio is coming through this audio interface here from Universal Audio. And I have the speakers and headphones available. Now, as far as furniture goes, this is a standing desk I've had from Amazon. It's been very reliable over the years. It's been in so many different configurations. It's also moved to different houses with us. It normally has a few drawers that you can use on the side, but I went in and basically routed a few holes because I'm constantly running cables all over the place. Big shout out to my Lord of the Rings mouse pad right here. This is also very handy to have, but this is a standing desk. So if I need to stand this up, the whole thing can elevate, but primarily with me doing videos, I'm in the seated position most of the time. Now with music and stuff, I do have a Blackstar guitar amp right here that's available for whenever I need to do some recording. My acoustic guitar, I have several guitars available on this, I believe it's called a Swing Tree. This is a big guitar stand rack I'm very happy with as well. Then I have this Gator case, which holds basically a power conditioner and a larger audio interface whenever I need it. Here on the floor, this is a portable power strip from Blackline Audio. You won't be able to tell because of the rat's nest, but this has a very long cable which runs into the wall. This is essentially for my computer stuff. And then the other power conditioner that's in here, that's for the main stuff like my audio interface and some of these lights. Now, whenever I'm recording music, I'll use this reflection filter from Aston. This is a nice one where you can put your microphone inside. Again, acoustically, it just knocks out all of those echoes and reflections that normally mess up your recordings. Got a nice big moving blanket hanging up in the corner, a closet full of tripods, accessories, and things like that. Here on the wall, this is just a simple shelf where I can put my microphones and things. Like this is the Shure SM57. That's a good one for sure. And then, sorry for the pun. This is the SM81. This is a small diaphragm condenser microphone from Shure as well. Got a little headphone splitter. If I ever need to run two headphones off of one source, I can use that to kind of break things out. Several little accessories available if needed. Down here is my big box of cables and toys. So if I'm looking for a pair of headphones or a nice guitar cable, it's probably in that box somewhere. So like I said, it's a very small space, but trying to make the most of it as much as possible. Now, this is a Complete Control S49. This is from Native Instruments. This is the older model. They've got newer ones available, but I primarily just use this as a MIDI controller whenever I'm playing keyboards or synthesizers. This is just running out of a MIDI to USB converter. Here in the corner of the room, this is kind of my display rack. I got this, I can't remember exactly the brand of it, but it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shelves. Each of the shelves, you can put about a 12-inch product or so on each of the shelves just to display things if you need it. I've got a couple rolls of gaff tape, which is always useful. Here's the white gaff tape and the traditional black there. Got a nice little Boss pedal box, the Rode NT2A. I've got this boom clamp, which is super handy for my halo light. So if I ever need to mount something here, I can mount it up on here if I need to, or I can stick it on the tripod. I've got a preamp from Blackline Audio whenever I need to use that. It's a nice little one-channel desktop microphone preamp. Several boxes with different products in there. The Shure SM7B. Let's see, I've got a set of Lord of the Rings illustrated editions from Alan Lee, which is always useful, but I really like the brown industrial look of these shelves. So again, whenever I'm seated, at my desk. It kind of matches the desk color. And then as I'm seated at the desk, you can see just in the corner there, you can see the shelves. I can kind of decorate them as needed. And there you have it. So if you're in a small space like this, I hope the video has been very beneficial to you so you can get some ideas of how to elevate your space. Thanks so much for watching.